Hello, this is Robert Plenick, the owner of Brutal Iron Gym. In this video, I wanted to kind of take some time aside for personal trainers and kind of discuss how to advertise for clients through social media. So I've been a trainer myself for 15 years, and that's 15 years of getting paid for it. So I've been doing it for a little bit longer than that. And part of what I think has helped me stay in business for 15 years is being able to advertise my services in a particular way, which is what I'm going to explain in this video. So sometimes I'll see trainers online and they'll advertise their services very commonly through saying, this is when I have sessions available, this is how much. And that's really all they show. So, and what I want to do in this video is kind of discuss a different way of doing it that I feel is more effective. It's more helpful for you, and it's more helpful for the population that you would like to attract. So if we look at the first concept here, we have the order of what you can kind of present when you make a post on social media. So for example, you might discuss the benefits and the methods of your training or what you're offering them. Or number two here, we have the availability and cost. So like I said, most people, they kind of skip over number one, they just present the availability and the cost. And basically what that means is you're saying there's training available and here's how much it is. But you don't necessarily tell them what that training is and how it can benefit them. And one thing I think that's kind of dangerous about that is very often people already have a preconception of what they think personal training really is. Maybe they've had a good or a bad experience, they've personally, or they've heard of friends, and they kind of have already come to a judgment of whether they think they need training or not. And I kind of equate this to like if I told you that I was selling a vehicle, and I said, hey, I have a vehicle for sale, it's $10,000. That's not very helpful. You don't know if it's a car, it's a truck, if it's new, if it's old, you don't know the mileage, you don't really know any of the details. You don't know if that's actually helpful for you. That would be the same thing as when you present online that you have a training slot available and a cost, and that's all you say. So what I usually promote the trainers that I work with, and I tell them to, is focus mostly on benefits and the methods that you're using. So for example, if you want to advertise a certain training program, and you're doing it because you want to help, say, older adults become more active and healthy in physical aspects of their everyday life. So you would want to actually tell them what are the exercises they would be doing, maybe why it's beneficial for them, maybe even talk about why it's safe for them to do that. You could even show a video or a description of what they would actually be doing during that session. You would want to give them all those details. And what I find is often if you start with number one, you tell the people why your service or your training can benefit them, and you tell them a little bit about the details, so how you do it, what would be expected of them. Usually they follow up on their own and ask a bit about availability and cost. So I find that often if you start with the benefits and the details, everything else kind of settles itself. And that's my way of thinking of it is, if you show them what the benefit and use is, they'll then go ahead and find out if it's available and if they can afford it. And very often they'll make themselves more available than they would have originally thought, and they'll pay more than they would have originally thought. So for example, if they see a training and, at first they say I can only train at 5 p.m. on Tuesdays, and then all of a sudden you show them all this amazing things that they could benefit, all of a sudden they're now available on other days and times. They can make it work for their schedule. So the other thing we want to look at when we're advertising on social media is education versus ego. So very often you'll see somebody post a video and they'll say, hey, I bench 315 for 10, come see me for personal training. Well, that's not really helpful for that person, like the people that will be watching it. Now sure, if you have a guy who says, man, I wish I could bench 315 for 10, if he can do it, maybe I can too, you'll get that population, but that's about it. However, if you were to present, here's the methods and the strategies I've been using to get stronger in my bench press, now all of a sudden you open yourself up to a larger population by talking about the education and the methods, so that way more people can understand how it would apply to them. So for example, if I'm a guy and I bench 315 for 10 and I talk about, that's it. So I'm just like, hey, here's my PR. You might not automatically attract female powerlifting clients who want to get stronger, or even males who would, like, their best dream ever would be 315 for 1. So they're going to see you as maybe intimidating, or that you might not think much of them. So if you go through and talk about the methods and strategies that you've used to get yourself stronger, and then just let them see in the video that it's 315 for 10, don't even mention it, that's going to make you more appealing to a larger population. So, and that's the best way to do it. So if you take the post and you think of, instead of showing off, thinking of teaching and educating people on how you can help them, that's much more effective in terms of getting a broader based reach. And also, it allows it to kind of have more of an easier entry for people to come contact you. So like again, I said, if they see you doing awesome stuff, they're going to think that maybe you only want to work with awesome people. So if you focus on education, it opens that up. So the last thing I kind of have, the last point, is don't sit and wait, go educate. So it does rhyme, and I did think that was pretty cool. But the point is that if you're a personal trainer and you have availability, don't just sit behind your computer and tell people, hey, come find me. So make a post and say, here's my times and availabilities, or even just sitting around waiting for people to come to your facility. So you have to go out and find the people. And part of what I find is very useful is, like I said, making educational posts. So if I, in my own kind of training, if I have clients kind of have to leave for financial purposes, changing of schedules, or maybe they met their current goal and they're going to have some time off, instead of me just advertising that I have an open session, I take that time and I make more educational material. So I'll make more videos, I'll write more articles, I'll do kind of different ways to reach out to the community, and then usually that's going to appeal to somebody new, and then somebody new will come in and fill that slot. So instead of me just posting about the slot and sitting and waiting, I'm trying to be more proactive. And very often what I find is when I'm making educational material, it's actually a form of education for myself. So as I'm writing and describing everything and presenting it in a way that I know other people have to be able to understand, it helps me learn how to teach that material better. So I actually become a better trainer by focusing more on education for others. So that's a way to actually give back to myself as I'm giving to other people. So that would be basically my main point for how to advertise on social media, is focus on the benefits and the methods, how you can help them. And then focus on education. So show them and teach them ways that they can help themselves. And what that then does is it shows that your information and your services as a trainer are going to be of value for them. They will then come to you and find out about availability and cost. And also they'll come to you now in terms of opening themselves up to more options than what you may have only presented. So meaning, for example, if you present that you're only like a male bodybuilder, you're most likely not going to appeal to females, and especially not to males focusing on other genres, strongman, bodybuilding, well, not bodybuilding because you'll be doing that, but strongman, maybe powerlifting, or guys who want to just look better, but they don't want to be the big bulky guys. So don't pigeonhole yourself into only what you do. So educate and show them what your knowledge can offer over the broad base to help them. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful. Thank you.